Okay, so thanks for watching. Those of you that couldn't make the assessment briefing lecture, I'm just going to go through the main points again. And for those of you that did come, we can actually you can actually use this to remind yourself of the things that we talked about. So to start off with, your assignment 2 follows a report format, and your advised length is 2,500 words. See where my mouse is hovering? There is no penalty for that. However, if you're not close to your 2,500 words, you're not going to be able to give us the information that you need. So we start off with the introduction, about 250 words, and it's just a brief preamble about why we need controls and what purpose they serve. Following that is the main body of your report. So, as it says, use this section to demonstrate wider reading around hospitality controls, together with examples that you refer to in your appendices. So this is the main bit of your report. You are telling me what the controls are, what the specifics are, etc. 1,500 words for this section. Then your conclusions and recommendations. So what controls to use and how often we do them, and you've got 500 words for that. So, here's the case study. You have just been appointed to your first senior position as blah blah manager in a purpose-built city centre hotel that opens in 3 months' time. So, the reason for all the X's and the blah blahs is you choose the department. That way, it can be a department that you're familiar with from where you work, or it's a department that you feel more comfortable with over others. So you brief. You must produce a report for the general manager of this hotel that details the required control procedures for your department and the analysis for these controls and their frequency. So basically the scenario is it's a brand new hotel, it hasn't got any control set up. The general manager wants you to say what those controls should be, how you would use them, what purpose they'd serve, and how often you would need to do it. So the analysis bit is when you've got that control document, it's all filled in, how you analyse it and what you use that information for. So you need to give some practical examples. Frequency is just how often you do it. So next bit, this is all from the assessment briefing sheet that you've got. But control procedures outlined in your report must contain, but are not limited to, the following: purchasing, stock control, sustainability, legislative requirements, including reporting requirements for enforcement agencies, and how it relates to your customer service program. So we'll go through those in a little bit more detail. For purchasing, now any department that you are going to manage when your future careers will buy things. So they'll have a purchasing operation which you will need to control. So you've got to tell us why purchasing controls are important. And that can be talking about just your department or generically why hospitality purchasing controls are important. What they achieve, and by achieving them, what are the benefits to the organisation. In terms of stock control, again, I don't want you thinking, well, if I'm doing human resources, we don't need to control stock. Well, you do, because in terms of academically thinking about stock control, then human resources, i.e. people, they're your stock which you need to control. But you will also have other things like maybe uniforms, stationery, all sorts of things like that which you will need to control. So we want an overview of a stock control system. Then I want you to tell me how it works, what it's used for, and what controls are pertinent to the department that you are the manager of. So, sustainability. This is not necessarily its own section. You can weave sustainability narrative into each of the sections. So you could talk about sustainable purchasing, you could talk about sustainable legislation, within each of the other sections, or you can have sustainability on its own. It's entirely up to you. But the most important thing is that you refer to literature that's talking about sustainability, not just stuff you get off Wikipedia or things that you think are green initiatives. It's got to be academically peer-reviewed journal articles or academic textbooks that we've recommended on your reading list. Legislative requirements. So this is what the law requires us to do. Now, in the lecture we went through some examples. We were talking about the Food Safety Act and how there are minimum and maximum temperatures at which you can hold food, the amount of time you can hold it for, etc. So for this, how would we achieve staying within the law or keeping the law via control documents? So that would be a temperature chart. So you might record the temperature of your fridges. You might record the temperature of food that's out on display. All those sorts of things. They are a control document that will help you in terms of legislative requirements, because if something goes wrong or you're inspected, you can show the inspectors those documents and you've either got a due diligence defence or they'll see that your control systems are adequate and up and running. Excuse me. Finally, customer service programme. Now, all departments will have some level of customer service. So what I want you to do is talk about the documents and how they can relate to customer service. It might be getting products in time so you've got the products ready for the customer. It might be how do you control customer feedback. All that is part of your customer service, and all that will have some level of control documents. So what I need you to do is tell me how this can be documented. Finally, any questions you've got after watching this or as you're going through your assignment, please either ask me in lecture or feel free to email me, and I can either answer your question via email or we can meet up and discuss. Thank you.